He is described as the central nervous system of the Spanish national team. The entire tactical structure of one of the best teams in the world is built to get the ball to his feet. He is 23 years old. He has already been compared to Andrés Iniesta, Xavi Hernandez, and Johan Cruyff. He is by almost universal agreement the most technically gifted midfielder of his generation. And his greatest opponent has never been an opposing midfielder. It has been his own body. The injuries that have repeatedly interrupted a career that was supposed to be producing its greatest chapter. And what he said about those injuries and about the philosophy of playing that keeps him coming back to them is one of the most psychologically instructive things any elite athlete has ever said. He said, "You cannot play at half intensity. You are 3 times more likely to get injured. It is the worst thing you can do as a footballer." That sentence from someone who has been injured more times than anyone in his position should have been is the entire psychology of Pedro González Lopez, known to the world simply as Pedri. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to PsyWealth. Richie. Today we are covering someone whose psychological story I think is one of the most complex and most instructive we have ever featured on this channel. Because Pedri's journey is not a clean arc from struggle to triumph. It is a repeated cycle of brilliance. Injury, comeback, brilliance, injury, comeback, and the specific psychological quality that keeps him choosing the full commitment version of himself every single time, even though that full commitment is part of what keeps breaking him. If you are new here, subscribe. Now let's get into it. Pedro González Lopez, known as Pedri, was born on November 25, 2002 in Tegeste, Tenerife, Spain. He grew up on the Canary Islands. He came through the Las Palmas youth system. At 17, Barcelona saw enough to pay €2 million for him. At 18, he played 52 matches in his debut season for Barcelona. 52, across La Liga, the Champions League, the Copa del Rey, and the European Championship with Spain. At 18, that figure 52 matches in a single season is significant, not just because of its extraordinary volume for a teenager, but because it is the beginning of the pattern of a body that gives everything and periodically breaks under the weight of that giving. He won the Golden Boy Award. He was named in the Ballon d'Or top 10. He was compared to the greatest midfielders who ever wore the Barcelona shirt. And then the injuries began. Here is the honest psychological reality of Pedri's career. Since that extraordinary debut season, he has missed significant periods through muscular injuries, hamstring tears, quadricep problems, muscular overload on multiple occasions. The data shows a pattern of muscular overload connected to his style of play. Pedri operates most effectively within 25 meters of the opponent's goal in tight spaces, under intense pressure, constantly receiving and releasing the ball at high speed. That style requires explosive bursts of acceleration and deceleration, the specific movement pattern that places the highest demand on the muscular structures that keep breaking. And here is the psychological complexity of that. He knows his style is connected to his injury risk. He said, "You cannot play at half intensity, you are 3 times more likely to get injured." That sentence, carefully read, says something extraordinary. He is not saying play at full intensity and you will not get injured. He is saying play at half intensity and you are more likely to get injured. The full commitment, the 100% version of himself, is actually safer than the cautious version. And so every time he comes back from injury, he faces the same choice. Play at full intensity and risk the body, or play at half intensity and risk both the body and the quality. He always chooses full intensity, and the body occasionally breaks, and he comes back and chooses full intensity again. Here is something about Pedri's psychological evolution that I think is the most instructive element of his story. His mental resilience was forged through repeated injury, comebacks including during the Euro 24 campaign. Not just endured, forged. The difference between enduring and forging is the difference between surviving something and being changed by it in a way that makes you stronger. Pedri also revealed he feels physically stronger than ever after making adjustments to his preparation following a series of injury setbacks. He said, "We started changing things to find what worked for me physically." That phrase, "we started changing things," reveals something important about his psychology. He did not respond to the injury pattern with resignation. He did not accept it as simply his fate. He worked with his medical team, with Barcelona's staff to find what worked, to adjust, to learn, to build a preparation, routine that could support the full intensity version of himself more sustainably. And he credited Hansi Flick specifically with helping that process. He said, above all, he put me deeper, so I could have more contact with the ball. Flick found the tactical adjustment that maximized Pedri's impact while potentially reducing his injury exposure. That combination, the player's willingness to change his preparation plus the manager's willingness to adjust, the system is the psychological partnership that produced what became Pedri's finest season at Barcelona. Here is something Pedri said that reveals the collective psychological transformation that his personal resilience contributed to at Barcelona. He said, "We have changed our mentality. We believe in ourselves. Not I believe in myself. We believe in ourselves." That orientation from individual confidence to collective belief is the signature of someone whose own psychological journey has given them something to contribute to the people around them. Pedri's repeated comebacks from injury, his consistent choice of full intensity over self-protection, produced something in the Barcelona dressing room that tactical instructions alone cannot manufacture. The belief that difficulty can be overcome, that the body breaking is not the end of the story, that coming back is possible and worth it. And he also credited Flick directly for the cultural shift. He said, above all, he gave us a winning mentality. He is not just talking about tactics. He is talking about a psychological environment that allowed individual resilience, like his own, to become collective belief. Here is the psychological insight that I think makes Pedri's story genuinely extraordinary. Most human beings, when a specific behavior repeatedly produces pain, gradually reduce that behavior. It is a basic psychological principle called negative reinforcement. The pain teaches you to do less of the thing that caused it. Pedri has repeatedly experienced serious injury as a direct consequence of the specific style of play that makes him extraordinary. And every single time he comes back, he chooses the same style, the same full intensity, the same complete commitment, the same version of himself that keeps breaking and keeps producing. He said, "You cannot play at half intensity. It is the worst thing you can do." He has internalized the full version of himself so completely, and it is so fundamentally who he is as a player, that even repeated injury cannot teach his psychology to choose less. He will not become a half version of himself to protect a body that was built for the full version. And that specific quality, that refusal to become less in order to be safer, is one of the most psychologically extraordinary things I have ever encountered in an elite performer. And now I want to speak directly to you, because I think Pedri's psychology contains something that applies to every single person watching this. Most of us have experienced some version of his dilemma, a specific quality, a specific way of being fully ourselves that keeps producing both our best results and our most significant setbacks. The intensity that makes us excellent at what we do but occasionally burns us out. The vulnerability that makes us genuinely connect with people but occasionally leaves us hurt. The ambition that drives extraordinary output but occasionally produces exhaustion. And in the aftermath of the setback, the temptation arrives. Play at half intensity. Protect yourself. Be the cautious version that generates less but risks less. Pedri's answer to that temptation is the clearest and most direct thing he has ever said. You cannot play at half intensity. You are 3 times more likely to get injured. The full version of yourself, however, costly it occasionally is always safer than the half version, because the half version produces neither the performance nor the protection you were hoping for. It just produces less. Find your full intensity. Choose it every time. Adjust your preparation to support it more sustainably. Find the Flick in your own life, the person or the system that helps you give your full version more sustainably, and keep coming back every time, because the full version of you, however many times it breaks and has to be rebuilt, is always worth returning to. Pedri is the most technically gifted midfielder of his generation, the central nervous system of the World Cup winning Spain team, the player Barcelona's entire system is built around, and he has spent significant Portions of his career in rehabilitation rooms, rather, than on football pitches. Not because he is fragile, but because the full version of himself, the version that Barcelona and Spain and the world watches in something close to awe, demands everything his body has. And he gives it, every time, without compromise. Without the half version, without the protective distance, that might keep him safer but would make him less than he actually is. That is the genius psychology, the specific, costly, completely non-negotiable commitment to the full version of yourself that keeps breaking and keeps coming back and keeps producing the thing that only the full version can produce. Subscribe to PsyWealth Richie. Share this with someone who has been playing at half intensity to protect themselves and needs to hear that the full version, however risky, is always worth it. We will see you in the next one.